Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer and today is Monday in your world. I'm filming this on Friday because I have a whole lot of things I need to do this weekend and I wanted to make sure you guys had your Monday video, and I've actually made a couple of things. So I haven't made a whole lot because you guys know life is very, very busy right now. We're doing a lot of things. So on Monday, if you are new here, I come on and I give you an update of what I've been doing for the past 7 days, give or take a few days. And pretty much everything I've done has been in the past 7 days. I also give you a life update on what's going on in my world, what I've been up to. I give a little bit of a health update just because health is like #1 priority. And our health updates lately have been not just physical health, but also mental health, because that is vital. It is vital. Don't overlook your mental health as not being as important as your physical health. It absolutely is. So with that being said, let's get into it. What have I made in the past 7 days? I feel like I made more than what is on my desk because I only have 2 things on my desk. But I probably did not. I think I showed you everything I made previously. So we're just going to get into it. Now the first thing that I made that I'm going to show you is I finished the little ghost from the, I think I threw the box away. The Aldi kit, is it right? Nope, it's right here. It's under stuff. The Aldi $4.99 kit that I bought. I finished the ghost, and you'll notice he does not have a purple hat on his head. The reason he does not have a purple hat on his head is because a while ago I made a candy corn hat for my Woobles Haunted House Village, which is back here. And I'm like, I already have a hat that would fit him, so why make another hat? So he got a candy corn hat, which I think is cuter than the hat on here. Now, what I did differently from this, the pattern has you make the arms at the end and attach them. Now, from what I read, it doesn't look like there was instructions on where to attach the arms. So it says chain 11 stitches, flip your work. This row will be worked into the chain in the opposite direction. Skip 1 stitch and then single crochet into the remaining, and then flip your work again, chain 1, skip, blah, blah, blah. 10 stitches. Cut the yarn a few inches from the end of the tail and then pull the tail through the working loop and fasten off the yarn. Repeat this to create the second arm. That's the end of the directions for the arm. So what I did for this is I at some point realized, okay, that's enough space for a head. And I chained out from here. I just stopped at some point and I chained out 11. And I half double crocheted back and I attached it in a single crochet and continued on less than halfway. So if you fold him in half, his arms are not at the halfway point. They're slightly forward more. It literally just, the hat fell and stuck right there, okay? It's apparently it's a shelf. I now have a cold bra. It's all right. So I did that with both arms. The arms are already attached into this. You can't see a gape or a hole for the way I did it, and I didn't have to sew anything on later. And also I changed his eyes. I gave him these really cute amigurumi eyes that I bought off of Amazon a while ago. They are in my Amazon store. I don't run the Amazon store. What I do is I show you stuff on the channel that I purchased from Amazon, and then I put them in the Amazon store, which is linked in the description box below. It's called my Amazon recommendations. These eyes are really good. They're called kawaii eyes. They're really good for creepy crawlies, ghosts, anything that is cryptid, anything that's kind of creepy. These eyes are really good for it. These eyes are meant for like uber cutesy amigurumi that are like the style of anime, but I like them the best with Halloween type creatures. Okay, did I follow this pattern exactly? No, I actually stopped following it at some point because I had messed up so bad. I was rushing to get it done for the video, and I stopped about here because I realized It was taking way too long. And then I stopped again somewhere like right here because I have a life. So I was like, okay, I can only dedicate so much time to this. I need to go cook dinner. And then I crochet a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed. And I've made a hard and fast rule for myself that I'm no longer allowed to take crochet to my bed. I'm not. My bed is a sacred place and I have no business working from my bed. And even if I enjoy crochet and it relaxes me, I can crochet up to the point where I go to bed, but crochet does not belong to my bed any longer. That is a rule I made for myself. I'm not telling anyone else to do that. It is for my mental health to have bankers hours, basically. So the count is completely off. And at the bottom, instead of doing the 3 rows of single crochet, I did a row of single crochet and then I did an increased row of double crochet, and it worked out just fine. And he stands up perfectly. I mean, he's pretty stable. The only thing I don't like is the way they started it because it gives him kind of a cone head. But you put the hat on there and you can't even see the cone head anymore. And I think he's adorable. And I really enjoyed this kit. $4.99 from Aldi. I really wish I had found the pumpkin crochet kit, even though I have several tutorials for pumpkins on the channel. I liked the yarn in this kit a lot. It is really soft. It worked up really well. Like it felt nice in my hands. And that's rare with these kind of kits. So, and I have all this left over because I didn't make the hat. And I did have white left over. One person did say, I think in the Facebook group, that they didn't have enough to complete the bottom disc. I had more than enough. But also, I wasn't following the pattern to a T. So, that might be the issue. I also didn't feel there was enough stuffing in the kit. So, I feel like he could have been stuffed more. But I didn't use the hook that came with the kit. The hook that came with the kit was 2.5 millimeter, I believe. Yes. I used a 4 millimeter crochet hook instead, so he came out bigger than he probably should have. Is there dimensions on here? So it says finished. He should be 4.33 inches by 6.10 inches. So 4 by 3. I don't know how they're figuring 4 by 3 because with my dimensions, or not 4 by 3, 4 by 6, he is exactly 4 inches across the bottom of him. And he is 4.5 inches tall. So, I don't know where they got their dimensions from. Maybe they were counting with the hat. Maybe with the hat, he's 6 inches. He's 7 inches with his hat. So maybe that's where they're getting the number from. But considering I used a 4 millimeter and they give you a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, and my gauge is spot on, that's a little strange, but we're just going to go with the flow, right? He's cute. He's cute. I liked the kit. I liked working with the kit. I don't know why holding my arm like that is making my elbow hurt. Like I'm feeling like sharp pains in my elbow. I've been doing too much. That's the problem. And that's not going to stop anytime soon because I'm on a deadline for things. Now, so I finished the ghost kit. I can throw the box away now. Because there's no sense. But I'm going to keep the pattern because I like the ghost. I think he turned out cute. And who knows, maybe in the future I will decide to make another one. I don't know. So I made the ghost. And then, if you guys recall, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. My face feels sticky. I had chocolate for breakfast. I'm going to be honest with you, and I can feel I'm a little sticky. I had a leftover caramello chocolate bar. My sugar has been so low. I have been able to eat candy and potatoes, and my sugar is not raising up. So, I had chocolate for breakfast. I did. Well, I had my leftover dinner from 2 nights ago for breakfast because I'm eating very small portions now, and then I had chocolate to wash it down because YOLO, you only live once, right? You guys don't care about that, but I felt my face was sticky, and I didn't want you to think anything gross, because I made this hat. Last week or the week before, I made the magic cake out of the scrap balls from the thrift store. Do you guys remember I showed you the yarn I bought at the thrift stores? I went to several. And then I showed you how to create a cake using a toilet paper tube. You can also use paper towel tube or whatever you have on hand. I turned the cake into this hat. And this is the cake in its entirety. I have this much left over, which I can snip now. And we'll weave that in later. This is not a pattern, but it's kind of a pattern. I did just a regular double crochet to start. And then I did the bean stitch, which is based off of the bean stitch hat from Lilo N Stitches. And then I finished it off in a pretty large ribbing of half double crochet. And I used the bean stitch because I wanted to use the entire ball of magic yarn that we created. Is this not beautiful? I'm so impressed with the way this turned out. It's very thick. It's going to be very warm for someone because this will be a donate issue. It's meant for bigger heads. And I left extra room for a ponytail, but also you could fold up the rim to win. If you're in Canada, you're going to know exactly what that means, or places that have Tim Hortons. Roll up the rim to win. Yeah. I lived close enough to Canada growing up that we got Canadian commercials and Canadian TV, so like I heard all about it. Didn't try Tim Hortons till I was a teenager. Tim Hortons is so good. And then Tim Hortons started moving into Michigan, and there's a bunch of Tim Hortons in Michigan, which is where I grew up, in case you didn't know that. So this hat is made entirely out of the magic ball that we created, holding two yarns together. A baby yarn, which has a little bit of a sheen to it, which kind of almost adds like it almost adds the effect of like a strand of glitter, except it's the shiny baby yarn. And then we held together with scrap balls, and we made our own self-striping yarn using coordinating colors. Really pleased with how this hat turned out. I think it's pretty. I like the way the colors go. I did not at all intend for it to kind of create a repeating, it almost created a repeating color stripe. Do you see that? So we started with, these were all scrap balls that I grabbed like colors. And remember, I just grabbed them randomly. Purple, then blue, then pink, then navy, then this light blue again, and then back to almost the same color, but it's a different color of the pink. So it looks like it repeats right here. Completely unintentional. And these two blues are two different colors. These two pinks are two different colors. And actually, this is more of a purple, and that's more of a periwinkle. But it almost looks like a self-striping repeated yarn by using just random scraps. So I impressed myself with this one. So if you are looking at your scrap balls and you're thinking, I can't not possibly think of what to do with them, make a magic cake and turn it into something. I didn't have enough in the magic cake to make much more than a hat, but it made an entire hat with only this much left over, and this is going to go in the dump because I ain't got time for scraps that small. I know some of you keep scraps that small and you collect them and you stuff things with them. I don't, because I already don't have enough room. So that is the entirety of what I have made and crocheted this weekend, with the exception of I worked up a swatch testing hooks, and I worked up another swatch testing hooks, and that is what I have made this week. I can now put my crochet hook back in its caddy, put this crochet hook in the caddy. That way everything's back where it belongs. Put my beautiful card back up there, because that is perfectly balanced. And my elbow is really hurting. Alright, now we're going to go into life update. What is going on in my life? Today, not Wednesday, today's not Wednesday, it's Friday. In my world is Friday. You'll see this on the following Monday. Today, I have done homeschool already. We started my son on his computer programming class today, and he's actually doing that right now. But he is so brilliant when it comes to computer stuff. He does not need my assistance with that. And also his dad, who is a computer nerd, is in there. So he is still has assistance available to him. And it is something that he is probably farther advanced in than the program he's currently taking, because he is a nerd, and that's okay. Also, we went to a thrift store yesterday. It's a new thrift store to us. Actually, it's a new thrift store, period. And we popped in because my son loves thrifting. Me and my husband love thrifting. And he specifically looks for what he calls vintage tech, which is old phones, old computer things, old technology. And by old, most of the stuff he's interested in is older than he is. He's 11. So he's looking through and he's digging, and he finds a Palm Pilot. Does anybody remember the Palm Pilots from the 90s? That's what he found. He was ecstatic, and it was only, I think, $8. And he had $8. And he had $8 because he has received over 100 get well soon cards in Happy Mail, and probably 10 packages. And I told you guys, he didn't need anything. He doesn't. And a lot of you still sent him a card with a couple dollars in it, or a card with a gift card in it, which he went to Dairy Queen, and he was the happiest boy in the whole world. He got himself a large onion ring, which is his favorite chicken, and like his favorite food in the whole world is Popeye's chicken, onion rings, and french fries. Okay. He also really likes McDonald's, and he also got a McDonald's gift card. He's the happiest kid in the entire world. He went to Dairy Queen, and he bought himself a large onion ring and a M&M Blizzard, and his whole face lit up. And he was, I mean, the happiest kid in the whole world. The happiest kid in the whole world. The onion rings smelled so good, but I can't eat gluten, so I couldn't even like smell them because I miss real onion rings. There are some foods, when you realize you have a food allergy, that I can never eat that specific food ever again. And it makes you sad because maybe it's something you ate a lot as a child, or it's something that was a special food to you, like a comfort food growing up, and you just know you can never eat that specific food in that form ever again. Are there substitutes? Yes. It's not the same. It's not the same. And there has been a lot of foods that there's not a good enough substitute for, and I have just eliminated eating that type of food entirely, which is sad. And there's certain foods, you know, like, oh, I would really love to have some real onion rings. Growing up, we ate White Castle a lot growing up because White Castle was cheap and is really bad for you, but it was so good, and I can never again eat another White Castle. I can replicate them close. I can make them at home to where they have the essence of a White Castle burger, but gluten-free bread will never ever be as good as regular bread. You cannot get the softness, the pillowiness of white bread in gluten-free. It either is really dry and like makes me feel like I'm choking on it, or it turns into paste when it hits your saliva, like actual paste. And I have tried so many different breads on the market. Or some gluten-free bread feels like you swallowed a brick because it hits so heavy in your stomach and it swells up, and then you're not eating another single thing because the bread just filled up your whole stomach. That's just how gluten-free food is. Okay, it is. Some gluten-free food is delicious. Gluten-free pretzels, you cannot tell the difference from regular pretzels unless gluten-free pretzels are slightly crunchier. They're like they have a harder crunch. But pretzels has never been my favorite food, so I just went on such a tangent about food. But with all that being said, little man had some money. Now I'm going to say he got, I think, you guys sent him like $67 this week, which is insane to me. And as a mom, he chose to spend his Dairy Queen gift card. He also got a McDonald's one, which he's very excited to go spend today. He chose to deposit his money into his bank account and save it because Christmas is coming up and a trip to Disney is coming up. And my mom heart is so proud of the job I'm doing with my children because they are good people. They are thoughtful and kind and caring and loving. They have big giant hearts. And they are smart. And I have taught them a lot of things I wish I had learned as a child. Money management, responsibility. There's so many things. And then this goes back to the thrift store we were in. So he finds the Palm Pilot. And he's so excited. He has wanted a Palm Pilot forever, okay? He does not need any more vintage tech. He has like 10 phones that are from the 90s and the 2000s. And none of them really connect to the they're not like, they're working phones and they turn on and they connect to our Wi-Fi. But that's not why he likes them. He likes reprogramming them. He likes learning about the technology that went into making the phone back in that day. Like, he is really interested in that. And so that's what interests him, is learning about the way technology is built and created and the limitations that it had back then versus what is available today. And when he speaks, it's well above my grade level. Like, I don't understand half what he's saying, but luckily his dad is also computer brilliant, and so they talk in a different language. So anyway, we're in the checkout at this brand new thrift store, and the lady behind the counter, I was there during school hours. He's very clearly a homeschool kid, okay? He is standing there with his vintage tech in his hand, and there's two ladies at the cash register talking about a rotary phone that is on the counter. And they're making fun of kids nowadays, while my 11-year-old boy is standing there, smart as can be. And they're like, kids these days, they don't even know how to work these phones. And they're talking about how parents are making their kids try to use a rotary phone because of something they saw on the internet. These women did. And because it was on the internet, it's got to be true, right? That people are actually making their kids use a rotary phone and not allowing them to have a cell phone. I don't buy that for 1 second. I think that's people creating content and thinking it's funny. And these kids don't even know how to use the rotary phone. They're so irritated. Like, okay. So they're dogging on kids nowadays, which I don't understand the purpose of any of that. Those kids are probably way smarter than you were at that age, and they know more about technology. So don't dog on the kids because they are more advanced than you were at that age. Like, I don't understand doing that. And then the cashier points over, there's a school poster with cursive on it that was donated. And it's to teach the kids how to write the letters in cursive. And then she went on a tangent how it's an antique and it's obsolete now because kids these days don't know how to read and write in cursive. They're not teaching that in the schools, and then they started dogging on the schools, and then she started talking about homeschool moms come in here and buy books because these kids don't even know how to read. And like, she was just like dogging, and everything they were saying is not true about my child. So he knows how to use a rotary phone. He actually knows what the inside of a rotary phone looks like and how to probably fix it. Truth be known. He's homeschooled. He loves to read. He doesn't read like stories. He reads car manuals, and he reads computer manuals, and he reads programming books for college. So that, my chest is puffing up because my kid is standing there smart as can be, right? He reads and writes in cursive because I taught him that last year. And I'm just standing there. And not only that, is he's holding this vintage technology that is obsolete, that is thrown away by someone else because there's no use. It's not up to date. It's not new and fangled. Like, it's not the new and the brightest and the shiniest stuff that's on the market, right? And he's spending his own money. Granted, that $8 was gifted to him, but he does have a bank account with his money that he earns in it. And they're over there just running their mouth, and my chest is puffing up because my kid is none of those things that they're saying, and I did that. And that was a proud moment for me. And when we got out to the parking lot, I looked at my husband and I was like, I could have been irritated that they're running their mouth like that, but everything they said my kid does. Like, he reads, he likes reading. He just likes reading non-traditional kid books, you know. He reads and writes in cursive. He knows all about the rotary phone that they're dogging on. He, like, all of the things that they were saying, I was like, I did that. I patted myself on the back. I puffed my chest up and I walked to the car. I strutted myself to the car. I did that. That was me. That was mommy. Mommy did that. I looked at my kid and my heart swelled with pride. It really did. Because that's my kid. Not only did I carry him in my body, I sacrificed my body so he could be born. Because they had to cut him out of me because he did not want to come out. But also, like, I raised that boy. I homeschooled that boy. I could not be prouder of him. Also, a little homeschool tangent. Yesterday, we were learning about, yesterday was our science day. We did science and math yesterday. And so yesterday, we were learning in science about erosion, weathering, deposition, which is things that happen to the earth. In case you don't know, I'm going to teach you something. It's things that happen to the earth that changes the shape and how the Grand Canyon was formed and all these things, right? So everybody knows erosion is like the water or sand or wind wears down, you know, erosion and weathering. So it changes the landscape. Erosion created the Grand Canyon from the river cutting its path through. So there's things that can change the way the earth looks, the shape of it, the way it works. We learned about landslides. We learned about how water can cut through rock. We learned about how water going into rock and freezing it can cause it to crack and split. And we had a piece of paper that was a scavenger hunt. And me and Mr. Cinnamon decided to take him on a scavenger hunt so that we can look at, observe, touch, feel the things in the environment that were affected by weathering, erosion, deposition. Deposition is like when water or something comes in and displaces it. So it will take the rocks and move them. It will take seashells and move them. It will take the sand and move it. The depositing of it somewhere else. Okay, so we learned all about that yesterday. And there is a park that's not far from our house that has a stream that runs through it. It has a rock formation that was created by weathering. It was created by erosion. There's all these things that we could observe. So some of the things we were looking for was exposed tree roots, cracks in rocks or pavement, like cracks that's caused from the water going in and freezing and expanding and then detracting. It causes cracks in cement, stuff like that. Rocks or rock formations that have the wear on them from water lines, or like where the edges are kind of broken up a little bit. We went down into the stream and we looked where there were pile of rocks from the water pushing the rocks and making piles. So the deposition, the moving of the rocks using the water. And it was also a nature hike at the same time because we had to hike back through the woods to get to the rock formation. Now I'm going to share a picture. I don't share very many pictures on here of my kids because you guys know, I've said it before, there's crazy people on the internet and it's private. I'm not trying to expose them, you know. So This is a very distant picture of us. We were actually at the top of the rock formation, and then we were going over the scavenger hunt, and I was talking to him about the landscape and about the things that we saw. Look at, he's so happy. With his arm in a cast, he finished his scavenger hunt. And then he got to play on the swings, and he smiled from ear to ear the entire time he played on the swings. He actually made a friend, and he was talking to the little boy, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day to go exploring. That's us in the riverbed. Oh, that's Mr. Cinnamon and Lucas in the riverbed. And here's a beautiful picture of the riverbed with all the displaced rocks. So, yeah. It was a beautiful day, and I've said on the past, me and Mr. Cinnamon have not always agreed on the homeschooling thing. We have not always seen eye to eye. He has really come around by witnessing what I'm doing with him and witnessing how much he's learned. And he's really come around to the idea. And the three of us going on an adventure yesterday was really cool because it was a unique experience in the fact that we were both teaching him things about what we knew about the subject, and we were both excited to show him little things that might get overlooked by the normal passerby, or like, why are the tree roots exposed? Why is the edge of the earth, like, there's a path here and there's a part that's just kind of like worn down from a small landslide, from weathering, from erosion, and at the bottom you can see where the rocks were displaced, where the clay dirt was displaced. And it was just so cool to talk to him about that, show him, let him see and feel. And there was a point in the rock formation, I don't know if I have a picture of it, where, well, I took a picture of the wild blueberries, but back here is part of the big, it's almost like a cave behind the blueberries, and in that was a giant deposit of quartz, like this big. It was just a big giant circular deposit of quartz in the sandstone. And so we talked to him about that too, and we also looked for agates and stuff in the riverbed. I found some rose quartz, I found some plain old white quartz. I found a piece that looks like mother of pearl, so I assume that it came from the inside of a mussel or a seashell or something like that. And it was just a really cool experience that I'm really grateful we had. And also the weather was fantastic. Like, it's beautiful fall weather. It's cool, but the sun was shining, and it was just a beautiful day. Now today, Friday, I'm gonna load these video clips onto my computer and get them transferred over, and then I have to get boxes because I have to finish doing work in this room. Now, I did show this corner is now empty. There was a big giant shelf there, and there's stuff here that still needs to be taken care of. And then over here, I actually emptied this shelf and that shelf, and I replaced some of the yarn on those shelves with yarn that was in that cabinet that I got rid of. And all of my buckets, there was 9 here, there was 4 on top of this shelf and 4 on top of that shelf, all made it to storage with 2 giant garbage bags filled of really big balls of yarn made it to storage. And someone did see that I didn't add my desiccant to the second garbage bag, which I will have to get over there and do, because I really don't want mold or anything in my bag, so I'm gonna have to go over there and get the desiccant in to the garbage bag and make sure that we don't get any grossness in there. I'd still have stuff in this room to pack up. You can see there's like bins and boxes back there. I also need to pack up room and the kitchen needs to be, what I need to do in the kitchen is, I already cleaned out. We have a storage cabinet that used to be a pantry, and I turned it into storage for like pots and pans and dishes and stuff. I already cleaned that out once, but I need to go through and clean it out again because I'm gonna be honest with you, we keep buying new Buc-ee's cups. The big giant like Stanley style cups from Buc-ee's. Yeah, I bought a Christmas one. Have a Halloween one. I have gotten several of those style cups in Happy Meal. I have easily 20 giant cups to keep myself hydrated. So I need to go through and thin the herd. Because my daughter also has a bunch of them too. And pack away what we don't need. And just keep like one out or two. And get rid of the excess dishes that don't need to be used right now. To make the kitchen feel not so overwhelmed with all the stuff I use in my everyday life, because I cook a lot. So I need to figure out which of the cast iron skillets do I need to keep, because I have a big giant one, I have a normal size cast iron skillet, and I have a cast iron Dutch oven, all which were gifts from Grandma and Grandpa. So what is required in my everyday life? Probably the big one. So maybe the cast iron, the small cast iron skillet, and the Dutch oven can probably go in storage. And I have a big giant tamale pot. I don't plan on making tamales anytime soon. Probably not even for Christmas this year. So the tamale pot can go to storage. So I need to go through. Muffin tins can be packed away. A lot of the baking type stuff, I don't plan on doing any of that. I have 3 loaf pans. I only need 1 in case I make a meatloaf. So I need to go through and just like downsize the kitchen, get it emptied out, because we are currently in the process, and I say we, it's really my husband, is in the process of taking the cabinetry apart and painting it so that it's fresh and it's clean in there and it is brighter and it feels better. That was a recommendation from the realtor, but also like something we wanted to do to make the kitchen look nicer, because there's staining on the cabinets, and I want to put handles just to make it look nice. I think that will be, when people come to your house, they look at the bathroom and they look at the kitchen, because bedrooms can be, you can do 800 things with a bedroom, you know. So one of the main reasons I need to clear out, and I'm going to put the mannequins in storage this weekend. I'm going to clean off my desk. I want it to be bare bones, because what I want is for someone to come in, a potential buyer, and imagine themselves in this house. When we bought this house, it was empty. It was a bank. It was a bank sale. We bought it from a bank. And so it was empty, and the bank did the bare minimum to touch it up. Well, we came in and it was empty, and I saw, well, I want the TV there, or I want a couch there, and I want the dining room table there, and this room that is my office has been a bedroom because it has the doors. It has been my office. It has been a home gym at one time, which now my elliptical is in the garage and my exercycle is in my bedroom, which also I want to move that out because I don't want them. I want everything to be bare bones. Everything that's personal, I want down off the walls. I want them to come in and imagine their own family pictures on the walls. And I want them to imagine how they would decorate it and how they would paint it and how they would, you know. So we're taking huge leaps forward, and we're working our butts off to do it. So that is what is happening this weekend. That's the only plans now. I'm going to stand up because I'm kind of proud of this. My daughter is going to hate this, okay? The reason she's going to hate this is because she's always been way smaller than me, okay? But I got up and decided to get dressed to make this video for you guys. And I went in the bathroom looking for a bra. And I found her bra, which I'm wearing. But I put on her jeans. Okay? When I started this weight loss journey, I was a size 28. These jeans are a size 22. I almost cried. They're a size 22. And they're wide leg. They're supposed to be this baggy, but like, they're not tight. They're not tight, and they're stretchy. They're a size 22. Went from a 28 to a 22. And it's wild to me because the last time I was under 300 pounds was when I got pregnant with little man, and he's 11. And I was talking about weight loss goals. I don't ever want to be super skinny. I like being big. My husband likes big girls. So, I mean, that's never been a goal of mine. But I just want to be healthy, and I want to not have so much strain on my arthritic back, my compressed discs in my neck and my back, my knees, my ankle that has been broke more times than I can count now. Like, I just want to not be in pain, and I don't want to be sick from my diabetes. I don't want to be sick from the high blood pressure that I've suffered for the past, I don't know, 20 some years, which I no longer have. So I talk about my weight loss. I never intend to make anybody feel bad. And I don't encourage anybody to do anything I'm doing. And I get a lot of questions like, how are you losing weight? I'll tell you. You're probably not going to like the answer. But I also have goals for myself. And I'm already at 61 pounds that I have lost. And actually it might be more because I haven't weighed myself today. But I also dropped a whole bunch of pant sizes. And I feel more energetic, and my pain is less. And I'm not as sick. I'm not having as violent flare-ups as I was having. I'm not having the bad effects from the diabetes. Like, diabetes can do a lot of things to you. It can affect your mood really bad. It can make you have wild mood swings. It can make you have headaches and feel nauseated, and it can cause pain in your body, and it can cause wounds to not heal up. Like, there's so many things that diabetes can do to destroy you. And that's the motivation for me losing weight, was the diabetes. So I am on a medication called Zepbound, and it's a shot I take every week. But that alone is not what is helping me to lose weight. I have vastly restricted what I put into my body. And my goal with eating is to ingest protein and ingest fiber. And that's the way I look at food now. I already have a gluten allergy, so that has made the transition to not eat a lot of processed foods easy on me, because I discovered around the time of the pandemic that I was really allergic to gluten and have been my whole life, and it was making me really, really sick for my entire life. And I didn't realize how sick I was until I stopped eating gluten, and then I realized I felt really bad every day, but it was the normal. And the few times I have accidentally got gluten in my system, or I have, in the beginning I kept wondering, like, is it really a gluten allergy? So I would test it. And then a couple months later I would forget how bad it made me feel, and then I would test it again, and I would be violently sick. I mean, violently sick to where I'm bleeding out of my, going to the bathroom, blood. Okay? So it literally was shredding my insides, on top of flaring up all of my joints and causing pain in all of my joints. Like, there's just so many things that it does to my body that makes me sick. So that has made the transition easier. I occasionally allow myself to eat potatoes, but anything that has a real high sugar content, like potatoes, corn, peas, certain vegetables have higher sugar content. I don't eat fruit barely at all. Those are special treats. And today I had a candy bar because my sugar was low and I wanted it. But protein and fiber, and looking at it as food is to nourish my body, not to, it's not something I enjoy so much anymore. and it's okay. I loved food for a long time, and it's okay that I don't have that relationship with food anymore because it was making me sick and it was killing me. And I don't recommend this lifestyle to anyone, and I really hate when other people are like, you need to try specifically the carnivore diet. I get so many people telling me I need to do the carnivore diet. I can't do the carnivore diet. I'm gonna tell you why. I have a history of colon cancer in my family. I have already had polyps. I have to have a colonoscopy every couple years because my mom had colon cancer and I have already had polyps. You have to ingest fiber to reduce your risk of colon cancer. My system is so delicate, my stomach would absolutely shut down with it, just eating proteins. I have to eat fiber. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And fiber is good for your body. All the vitamins you get from vegetables is not in your protein source. I'm not dogging anybody that does the carnivore diet. I can't. I'm not risking my life. It's not going to happen. It's not ever going to happen. So I'm not telling you what I'm doing is the correct way. And the shot sure don't make it the easy way. It just helps. There is no easy way to lose weight. There's not. It's difficult. It takes hard work. It takes persistence. It takes not giving up on yourself. It takes allowing yourself to have a treat once in a while. But also it takes not rewarding yourself with food like you're a dog. Like, there's so many things, and it is a mind screw. So many times food is a comfort to us. It is something our mom would make us food when we were sick. Our mom would like cook us special meals for our birthday. Food becomes more than just food, and that's where weight gain happens. And so there's so much more to it, mentally, physically, than just what I'm saying. So I know a lot of you, I get so many emails from people who said I've been fat my whole life. I've had weight issues my whole life. I'm struggling still. My advice to you is to love yourself anyway, because you only get one body. And yeah, we might not be happy with the outward appearance or maybe the amount of pain we're in from that body. Love yourself anyway. You're never gonna be healthier or happier or skinnier for that matter hating yourself. You're not. Shaming someone else is just wrong. Like, don't do that. Don't judge other people because you don't know what's going on in their world. And never ever think because it's working for me it's gonna work for you guys. I tell you guys what I'm doing because so many people have asked me recently, and because I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. I'm proud of the progress I've made. I've worked really hard to get to this point, and the fact that I have my daughter's jeans on makes me so ridiculously stupid happy. And I even told her like a month or two ago, I was like, is it gonna bother you if I get skinnier than you? Because she's always been smaller than me. And she said, no. But I think it's going to bother her that I'm in her pants. She's just going to have to deal with it. Okay, she is. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what we have planned for the week. Actually, I do have a couple things planned. What was it, though? Oh, I had several people ask if I would do the ghost macrame kit. So I need to figure out where I put that. I think it's over there. The ghost macrame kit. My battery's dying. That is at least one thing we're going to do this week. And I don't know what else, but we're going to play it by ear. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.